What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with another edition of Rust Cribs, in which we take a look at some of the more noteworthy base designs during the past week on the US Rustopia server. We're going high up in the clouds now to take a look at a very large-scale compound, perhaps the largest that we've seen in Rust. And it's been constructed by three clans. The BHC clan, the Yar clan, and Dirt McGirt's crew have contributed to building this massive scale compound. I haven't seen anything quite like this in Rust before, and it's really a stunning achievement. The wall alone took a ton of resources to create and to snake that around this plot of land. As you'll notice, going into the compound, there's various structures in here. We're going to slow it down and kind of take a look at them. They have towers, which give them a good vantage point over all areas of the compound, and certain groups have decked out their houses to give it a little more flair. So you'll see the Yar pirates here, the Salty pirates have built a salt shack here. Very cool stuff. So even within the compound where multiple clans are sharing space, they can still use their own flair. We have a bit of abstract art here. I call this Aggro Loves Fado. So lots of good stuff going on here. And as we pan back out into the compound, we can really see sort of the scope of it. So when I first started seeing this compound constructed, I wasn't really sure where it was going. I was kind of confused why all these clans were building together that previously didn't have alliances. And after looking at it towards the end of the wipe cycle, I understood that they were, had an alliance and that they built together, and they found sort of strength in numbers. Taking a look at one of the noteworthy bases in here, it's Perry's base. He has a nice sign up there that says "Rule Britannia, bitches," so he has his own flair going on up there. But he has a nice cylindrical base here with 5 layers of tiers here, which help to prevent against ladders and help soak up rockets. And even though he's in the compound, has his own separate plot of land over here, so he kind of is somewhat private. Very interesting to take a look at this, a compound of this scale. As I said, I haven't seen anything like this in Rust before, and it's really stunning. And we're now all the way across the map on the other side, and we're taking a look at another large-scale compound, which you might recognize from the World War Rustopia raid cam, which we recently did. If you want to see what it's like to raid a compound of this size, go ahead and check out that raid cam. Very interesting. You might notice between that raid cam and this footage that the base actually recovered from the raid and actually grew in scale. So Murdoch and his men were hard at work on this base, and it's absolutely stunning the amount of space they were able to utilize with this base. You'll notice they have a structure here that is a bit of a suspended bridge, which allows them to access their flank base or their flank tower back to their main compound. Very interesting, and it's a really cool design feature. Going into the main base, there's various structures in here, each with their own type of functionality. Taking a look at some signs here, they actually put up some signs that were reflective of the raid that occurred here. It says, "This shall be our finest hour, 40 versus 10, and there's some names of prominent figures who played a role in the defense of this compound. They were very proud of the way they defended that compound, and that's always interesting to see. We've seen in things like World War Rustopia and also in Total War Rustopia that the importance of using the geography of the landscape and building various bases is integral to fending off large waves of raiders. So taking a look back at this base, just the wall alone is a massive accomplishment. Quarries were run day and night to be able to build this compound, and it's still under construction even up until the end of the wipe cycle. So the scope of it is so grand that it wasn't able to even be completed. It does rival the compound that was put together by the Yar group and Dirt McGirt's group. I would say that Yar and Dirt McGirt had a compound that was more well-defined in terms of the buildings inside being a little more put together, but that's not to say anything against this compound. This is an absolutely stunning achievement. And guys, let me know in the comments what you think, which compound you think is bigger in scale, whether it's Murdoch and his men or whether it was Dirt McGirt and the Yar crew. It was hard for me to judge the two together, and it's certainly not a first place, second place type thing, but I'm just curious what you guys think, is bigger. So taking a look at LQM, they were industrious as ever, a little bit smaller scale this time around. Their group wasn't as large as usual, but they put together a very nice little base here, which has the landscape playing a part in its defense. It's sandwiched between a mountain range and also the coast. So they use the topography of the map to their advantage, and they built a nice little base in here, which is a tiered system, very difficult to raid, and very interesting. It's still under construction, and as always, they were using the quarries to be able to harvest the materials for this. We're seeing the quarries become much more prominent in the game, and it's really interesting to see the bases that are coming out of those particular machines. So taking a look, panning back out, you can really get a sense of the way they integrated that base with the landscape. Taking a look at the base here at night, we see that the player here, his name is Biggs, he built a base by a rad town. So we can see the rad town glowing in the back with the streetlights. Very interesting design, and Biggs actually did this in a calculated way where he put part of his base almost in the radiation zone. So when the raiders were coming to raid the base, they took a more predictable path, and he could better predict the bottleneck. He says he was able to successfully defend the base on a few occasions, and his loot rooms were actually positioned towards the radiation, so it was really helpful. Taking a look at a base now, we can see there's a small shanty town here. It's called Sanity Town, and it was a gathering point for new players. It was a very interesting place. A lot of interesting player interactions occurred here. Players could actually meet here, gather here, trade. It was a place of commerce. Of course, during the end of the wipe cycle, we can see there's some action going on here, and there are some raiders in the base actually at this moment, and they are raiding the base and shooting the members of Sanity Town. They prayed to the wrong gods, however. They should have prayed to the raid gods instead of the rain gods.
Men, we must make a prayer to the rain god. The rain has been going on for too long. My underwear is soggy and my dick hurts. We need to make a chant to the rain god.
And keep an eye on Argyle Alligator's channel for some interesting footage from this location. We did a nice collaboration with our fellow content creator Argyle during this wipe cycle on the Restopia server. And like flies to light, Newmans are attracted to very ominous signs and very scary looking bases. So some very interesting interactions occurred here, and go ahead and check out Argyle's channel. Alright guys, and I'm just leaving you with some cool looking after effects on the video of some of the compounds we took a look at. I thought this particular filter was cool. It kind of made it look like it was a sketch or something that was planned out before it was built. And just go ahead and enjoy this. As always guys, I hope you're enjoying the Rust Cribs series. We're going to do it every week on the Rustopia server. Having a lot of fun with it. As always guys, Fado82, peace.